What's up, boys and girls? Welcome back to the It's Cray Show podcast. Today we have a few things to talk about, but first I got to take my antacids because now that I'm 27 and I've been housing spicy foods, fried foods, and really heavy beers, I'm having heartburn, and it's not fun to deal with, bro. Takes forever to try to choose those. Takes forever to try to chew those up without eating the pouch I have in my mouth. It's crazy. Yeah, I've been having heartburn a lot lately. I feel like I've become an X-Man and my superpower is vomiting acid. And that's not a fun place to be, boys and girls. It's not fun to be that way. I've realized talking in front of a podcast is pretty hard. And I was thinking about it. Hey, like, what's a 10-year plan? You know, I'm not one to do something lightly. If I do something, I hyper fixate on it and overcommit. And I was thinking about what if 10 years from now, this actually becomes something. You know, I'm at episode 7,000 and I get some award for the most produced podcast episodes of all time. And then it got to me, dude. It got to me that fame is pretty crazy. I know a few people that have flipped the script and gotten famous. I had a buddy of ours that got famous in a really weird way. I have a dear friend, Matt, and Matt and I go pretty far back. I met him playing Call of Duty. I was hammered off my tail fin, and this was circa 2019, whenever the new Modern Warfare came out. And for some reason, I was drunk playing Search and Destroy. I was in my game chat at the time, and I was going through all the names for Uzbekistani food, which let me put you on game real quick. I'm going to be my own Jamie. Uzbekistani food names are wild. Like if I'm looking at here, we got plov, which is rice and meat, usually lamb or beef, carrots, onion, and often raisins or chickpeas. We got lagman, a savory noodle dish with meat. You got Monty, steamed dough dumplings filled with meat. You got samsa, a flaky triangular pastry baked in a tandoor oven. That sounds gas. Shashiki, shashilk, shashlik. I'm not saying this right, but Shashlik, shashlik. It's grilled skewers of lamb, beef, and chicken, often served with onions. Now, these dishes are pretty difficult to pronounce, but if I could ever pick a flight and go anywhere, I'd probably end up going to Uzbekistan because they had me at Naryan. It's a cold dish of shredded. I guess never mind. That's horse meat. Let me back up here. Let me back up and not go to Uzbekistan, dog. I'm from Texas. We don't eat horses. But yeah, I was talking through this with my buddy Matt, and then me and Matt started playing together pretty frequently. We started playing Search and Destroy, one thing led to another. We ended up playing other games. We played Fortnite whenever that was peak. Shout out Tilted Towers. We started playing Rogue Company with a couple other buddies of ours that ended up being YouTubers. And we had one friend that was a YouTuber. And he's from the United Kingdom. He's a United Kingdom guy that likes to play video games with a bunch of drunk Texans. And his name, I will leave redacted because I don't want to get him all flustered. I just want to let him know I miss him. But we were playing, he was producing stuff, and we were all having a good old time. And then out of nowhere, for some reason, the crypto bros came together and they're like, hey, there's these things called non-fungible tokens that I'm going to seek my paws into and try to finesse money out of people. And our buddy Avas, oops, should have redacted it. Our buddy Avas, United Kingdom guy, has been doing graphic art for forever, and it's amazing art. And I joined right at the tail end of this whole friendship arc. I knew Avas for maybe 3 months, and out of nowhere, this NFT craze goes crazy. And Avas is like, dude, I think I'm going to start doing this because I have all this graphic art. I might as well just change the media file and sell it as an NFT on the interwebs, on the blockchain or whatever. And apparently a couple good amount of the ones that he had sold for buku money, like 100 grand plus. And he sold multiple and multiple and multiple of them. And he became this world renowned NFT artist. And then he just vanished, dog. His YouTube taken down, Discord silent. It's just, you flip the script and oh boy, he's gone with the wind. My little sweet pea, my little Englishman. And he really hit the whole riffraff. My main goal is to blow up and then act like I don't know anybody because, dude, he is a whisper in the wind. You can't find him anymore. Makes me sad. Makes me sad. It's kind of crazy whenever you get left behind like that, dude, but it's not the first time it's happened to me. I had another time where my mom and I used to go to the same hairdresser, and this one, I will keep the name done, but we went to this hairdresser, and my mom would always get her hair done. And I was like, "Oh, well, I'll come meet you." And I had this sweet lady that would wash my hair, and she's probably about 10 years older than me. I mean, she's real pretty, real kind, good Baptist girl. That's what you look for in Texas. And really awesome. She washed my hair a few times. I got done up a little bit. It wasn't like my consistent barber. I only have one consistent barber. Shout out Britt. But I would go there, get my hair done every now and then. Just son, mom time. Out of nowhere, she's no longer working at the studio. She's not doing people's hairs. People's hairs aren't getting did by her. And we're like, where's she going? Like, what's going on? And then come to find out, a couple, 3, 4 years go by, girl is on botched now, which is a plastic surgery gone wrong. And the reason she's on botched is because she's become an OnlyFans model and she has honkers the size of yoga balls. She's gotten all kinds of work done. It's actually insane. If you were to drop a bag of marbles near her kazungas, they would get sucked into the gravitational orbit. Like, there's no way you don't have back pain. Dear Lord, do you need a forklift? Like, it's wild. And now I saw her Instagram because her main Instagram was shut down, but she has a new title she goes by. We looked up her Instagram, 300K followers and absolute quintuple Z's. Just ditch the hair salon, and now you could, buy 1,000 of them. That's wild, dude. If there's one thing that sells in America, it's sex, and she capitalized on it. And now every time I look at her, I'm like, hey, that's the lady that, did my hair a few times. Can't go back. Can't go back. Just like a Voss left in the sidelines. And I want to make a commitment to you that if I ever blow up like that, no one will ever hear from me again. I'll be yelling out into the ether on a podcast whenever I hit that 7,000th episode. It'll be me, my wife. I'll start like a little orchard, adopt a bunch of dogs, maybe some Pyrenees, maybe some bulldogs. I don't know. I haven't really decided. But that's what I'm going to do because honestly, the prospect of not being able to go grocery shopping, or not being able to go to church without being recognized, terrifying to me, dog. Absolutely terrifying. I love you. It was nice to be a friend. I'm going to go hide in a hole and yell out on the internet. That's my plan. I would be able to handle the anxiety. Speaking of anxiety, I really think that most people, now I'm not vain enough to say that this is everybody, but I think most people, you don't have anxiety, brother. You're just consuming 7 to 8 times your recommended amount of caffeine. You're not sad, bro. I don't know who needs to hear this. You're not sad. You're drinking 700 milligrams of caffeine a day. You're sleeping for 4 hours, and you haven't had vitamin D from the sun in probably 3 months. Now, if someone would have spit that wisdom at me circa 2022, whenever the world shut down for a little bit, that would be nice. I would love that. Be like, hey, quit slamming caffeine. Get some yerba mate. No more venoms and nosses. I am tacky. There's a little bit of white trash in me. I love my nos and venom too, bro. But if your head's not on straight, that's probably the reason why. You probably should not be slamming sweet tarts and shitty $5 cigars and 400 milligram caffeine energy drinks a couple times a day. That's just not a recipe for good mental health. Now, hey, some people need help, dude. Some people need to go to the doc, all that. But it's really difficult for you to be sad if you eat clean. Yeah, you don't overdo it on the little energy buzzes, right? And you get a good night's rest. It's really, go tan for a little bit, eat a salad, go to bed at 10 p.m. and then come back at me. And if you really need help, then I'll see what I can do to help you. But yeah, those are the things that are eating at me lately is the fear of becoming famous. And I met a few people in my time that handle it well. In 2007, I met George W. because my mom got Businesswoman of the Year. I met George W. Bush while he was in office. And as I think about it, that's got to be the craziest position. The president of the United States got to be the most wild position ever created. You have to have a certain perception on life in order to be able to withstand just the pressure from that. Dude. I personally feel bad whenever I fuck up and order a drink that's would impose on a worker wrong at a Starbucks. You know, if I have to make the person at Starbucks work a little extra hard, I feel guilty. If I had to bomb a village in the Middle East, I wouldn't know what to do with myself. I feel bad when I order a shaken espresso with whole milk and a splash of sweet cream. If you were to give me the ability to bomb a village in the Middle East and tell me it's a necessity I do so, I would feel horrible. And I saw this man keep his appetite at a dinner. Wild. To each their own, dude. To each their own. Maybe I'm just a little different. Who knows? Maybe I'm the loser here, but I prefer to be the person that gets a little upsetty, spaghetti whenever I'm inconveniencing people. And to me, might not sound logical. I feel like the biggest inconvenience you could have is having a missile dropped on you from 7,000 miles away. I don't know. Weird topic, man. Weird topic. I think that's on my mind because we have what's called is it conscription? We have the draft is being talked about a lot lately. And contrary to the previous statement, if I were drafted, I think I'd do pretty decent. It would be nice to be forced to get in shape because it feels like I have to peel myself like a sticker off my mattress every time I wake up. It would be nice to have someone yell at me a little bit to make me get back to where I could do pull-ups. I mean, once upon a time, I was a stout dude. I feel like I'm still a stout dude, but I don't like cardio. Me and cardio just don't get along. I like to eat. Yo quiero comida. I like Uzbekistani food dishes. Like that fires me up, dude. I'm trying to pack the python down right now. Get a little excited. I would appreciate that, and I think I've played so much. This is where it's kind of non-equivocal, but dude, I'm not gonna lie. I've peaked at 15K elo at CS, going moderately hard. Play a little bit. Dude, I did Warzone for a hot second. I mean, give me a grapple gun and a kill streak, brother. Like, come on now. I think I could probably go win this war 2 seconds. I just go out there, convert them all to Roman Catholic. I mean, here's the real bit, right? Don't just drop me out there. What we need to do is we need to release El Chapo. We need to release El Chapo. We need to go get a walkie-talkie and hand it to El Chapo, and then have like a 9-volt battery that we replace half a mile away from him, so he can turn his walkie-talkie on. So we drop him off, fly a little bit, we drop off a 9-volt battery, and then we dip. And then El Chapo comes, he gets his 9-volt battery, he plugs it in, he calls his homies, and then they go handle all of it, all the Middle East stuff. And we don't have to do it. I mean, you can't tell me that's a bad idea. They're self-funded. I mean, the cartel has all the money in the world. They build their own infrastructure. They build their own schools, their own highway system. Hell, they're building their own cell towers. I mean, come on. It'd be great. And here, everyone's over there talking about all the tunnels they have, all the tunnels that they got going on in the Middle East. Whether it's on one side or the other, they all got tunnels, apparently. You know who those tunnels? Go look under the Texas border, brother. They had that figured out since Reagan. They got tunnels for days. So we dropped the walkie-talkie off. They self-fund getting all that done. They deal with all the crazy tunnel stuff. They got their own army, And the best part of it is they convert everybody to Roman Catholic. And it's the most fertile ground in the world in the Middle East. We finally have cocaine without fentanyl. I think I need to run for office because this seems like the logical step. I don't know why no one else is doing this. I don't know why no one else is talking about this. But just release El Chapo, dude. Let him in. I mean, it's a win-win for everybody. I think personally, just for me, but I'm just a dude that's hanging out, just hanging out. I feel like I'm fired up right now. I feel like I'm fired up. I haven't had any caffeine. It's 9:50 PM. I'll tell you why I'm mad. I'm mad because I'm realizing that I'm not as good at things as I used to be. Like right now, my knee's popping. My knee just popped. You probably can't hear it. I have the audio words covered, but my knee's cracking. I hopped on to play a couple games with the boys. We lost all those because my reaction time's going down, despite having the kit. Dude, this is the best setup I've ever had in my life. I got a Logitech crazy mouse. Like I got a badass keyboard. I mean, hell, I got Joe Rogan's microphone right here. The Shure SM7B. I got crazy monitors. And for some reason, I play just like I'm playing on a fucking Dell laptop from 2003. It's actually atrocious. I don't know what's going on. I'm getting old. I'm becoming chopped, dude. My unk season is fast approaching, and it's ticking me off, bro. I need to start training reaction time. I need to go get like a heavy bag or something, a speed bag, and start firing myself up. But whenever I think about the fact that, dude, I'm getting bad knees, right? I'm having to clear my throat a lot. I think that comes with me being a father here in the next 6 months. But my my reaction time on games washed. I'm to the point now where in order to have a good time playing games, me and my buddies are looking up like building and survival games. So it's no longer like, hey, let's go be competitive and see which one of us can fry the other team. Instead, it's like, hey, dude, I farmed carrots. Can I trade you for some beets? I think the real problem is I'm just not taking enough nicotine. That might solve it. I got these new 12 milli vanilligram Alps in. I talked about them last episode. I was really excited for these. And then I put one in and I felt like Iron Man and my chest got tight and it started glowing. And then I started shooting repulsor beams out of my hands. At least I think that's what happened because I got a little dizzy and can't really remember. But yeah, yeah, dude, this poison tastes great. Shout out Alp, Big Tuck. Give me a referral code, please. I talk about you all the time. But yeah, I think that's about the skinny of it, man. I don't really have much on my mind other than I got give or take $800 of credit that I need to use for United. My wife and I had an unforeseen circumstance that kind of happened where we had to cancel a really awesome trip that we both kind of missed. It was just not a really good time. But in that trip, we had in about $1,000. And gratefully, we got a credit back whenever we canceled the flight shot. Like I'm can't say enough how grateful I am that United was able to give us that credit. But now the question has since become, okay, well, what do I do with that $800 credit? Like, where do I go? I mean, we have to use it by August, and I really don't know where to travel. So she's about to go to Jackson Hole, Wyoming. And she just went to Chicago and she's just been in Utah. I mean, hell, she's traveled just about everywhere in the US at this point. But I was trying to think through like where would I want to see? We've been to Mount Rushmore. I'm very patriotic. I love that stuff. We went and saw the faces on the hill. And when we went there, I wore my favorite shirt at the time, which was a Birds Not Real shirt. And to me, that's really funny to have a photo with Mount Rushmore with a thing that says the federal government's lying to you. I love that. That's hilarious. It's right up my alley. But I don't know where else to go. I mean, we've seen the white sands in New Mexico. That was awesome. I've been to Niagara. What a blessing that is. I've been to Times Square. That was sick. Love that too. I've been around the block to Florida several times. You know, I've driven through Mississippi, and I think that's about as much as I'd want to give it. I don't really know. I'm kind of confused. I think you could probably have a really good time in Utah. The problem is with Utah is everyone tells me 2 things. 1, they don't like to serve alcohol. Like, they precisely measure their shots. You can only order, like, 1 drink at a time. You can't really do sidecars. So if you're doing a Coors Light and a shot of Jameson, you gotta do 1 and then order the other. You can't order both. In Texas, I could walk up and order 30 and have a great time. The other thing that makes me a little uneasy is everyone I know that goes to like the ski resorts and stuff, which granted we're gonna have to go there in the summer if we went, but everyone that goes there says the people there are awfully friendly, awfully in like a, you know, hey, come roll around in the bedroom with me and my spouse friendly. And that it's not really my cup of tea. I had a buddy of mine that was talking about going to Utah and he went skiing and he was drinking and having a blast. And this guy walked up, patted him on the back. He's like, "Hey, bud, I like your sweatsuit. How you doing?" He's like, "Hey, dude, doing well. Nice to meet you, man. I'm from Texas. In Texas, we have a common courtesy where we speak to others. Not quite like the Midwest where we get locked in conversations, but we'll still talk to you." And I guess one thing led to another in that conversation. And old buddy is like, "Let me buy you a drink. Let's chat. Let's have a blast. Hey, how about you? How about you get after it with my spouse, and then I'll take backsies on yours." That's the kind of shit I'd like to avoid. I'd like to avoid that. I'd like to go somewhere where the destination is centered around having a good meal, seeing a few beautiful sights. Now, I'm not trying to get into a reality show of the real life of the Mormon wives, trying to dodge that part. Like, I think the prayer would probably be easy after, but I think the washing my eyes out with salt and bleach would get old real quick, and I don't feel like crying in the shower. So, I think I'll pass on that. I think I'll pass on it. Anywho, I don't wanna go too far. This has already been about 20 minutes or so, and the more I talk, for some reason right now, I can feel like I'm getting in a rhythm of just being a little grumpy. You know, I gotta woo-saw, I gotta breathe, I remember that today's a great day, tomorrow's gonna be a great day, I'm looking forward to having a great day, and you should too, and I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful Cash is back in Counter-Strike. I'm grateful that nicotine pouches were delivered to my door, shout out Alp, and I'm grateful for the prospect of trying all the Uzbekistani food that does not include horse meat, and that's a good place to be. I'm gonna end it on gratitude. Well, I love you. God loves you. I hope you have a great rest of your day. And if you have any idea where we should travel, please give me a shout. Please leave a comment and let me know. All right. You have a good rest of your night. Lay bye.